So, an advice that I would like to give my previous self who was extremely confused about the target audience, what's my ideal client profile, and I was really what say I was running after perfecting it. And only when I said, and this is a rule I follow, it's 80-20. If something is absolutely clear for me by 80%, I just have to follow through with it. And rest of the 20% clarity will either come or I learn that this is not.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host Rexhen, and today's guest is Sana Javed, a career and executive coach who specializes in helping high-performing professionals and leaders find clarity, alignment, and confidence in their next chapter. With over 18 years of global HR experience across North America, Europe, and Asia, brings a unique blend of business acumen and transformative coaching to her clients. Through her work at GKM Coaching, she supports executives and emerging leaders at pivotal moments, whether stepping into bigger roles, navigating career pivots, or seeking to lead with greater authenticity and purpose. Her coaching goes beyond strategy. It's about uncovering the blind spots, aligning with values, and empowering leaders to show up with conviction, intention, and impact. And it's a pleasure for me to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Sana.
Thank you so much, Regen, for having me.
Thank you for coming, Sana. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to your beginnings with your coaching business, which now you work with a partner, as you mentioned, first of all, what inspired you to become a coach and then start and do this as a business?
Well, I became a coach because I've always been fascinated by human potential and what holds people back, especially since you already mentioned that I have over 17 years of HR leadership experience. And what I saw countless times was that leaders weren't failing because of technical gaps. They were basically falling because either there was an issue with the mindset, confidence, or the ability to navigate complex relationships. So that inspired me to shift from simply solving organizational problems to empowering individuals to unlock their own solutions. You know, I'm a huge fan of Sir John Whitmore and his book, Coaching for Performance, and that used to be my Bible when I was working in HR. And he says that coaching is actually unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is actually helping them to learn rather than teaching them. I think the best thing about coaching that inspired me was that answers lie within the person, and I just help remove the dust around those answers and the aha moment that they get. So we already knew this. So that's the inspirational part that moved me from coming to coaching full time.
Cool. And so right now, we did mention that you're working with leaders mostly. How would we specify the ideal client profile? As I mentioned to you earlier, there's 2 audiences. There's coaches, and there's also the audiences of the coaches who we've had on the show before. And we've had so many leadership coaches too. So I feel like we might be reaching out to a group of people who might fit your ideal client profile. So to help them understand this a little bit better, how would you specify your ideal client profile? Is there a certain industry or a certain demographic or psychographic, or do they have some common goals or other commonalities?
So I work with ambitious professionals and executives, often those who are navigating career transitions, especially either they're stepping into new leadership roles or they're looking to scale their impact. In GKM coaching, we do have certain specialized programs, especially designed for those who are looking to get into six-figure job offer club. They feel stuck, they're kind of in that crossroads of career where they're not appreciated, they always feel undervalued. So all of those are kind of definitions of my ideal client that can get the maximum benefit from my coaching. And the transformation pieces that I help them achieve is that moving from stagnation to momentum. So moving the needle is basically what I call a breakthrough. So if somebody comes to me and they're stuck and they don't know what to do. And after the coaching, they're like, hey, now we have clarity where to move. That is the transformation that happens. So that is pretty much what my ideal profile looks like.
And how is it for them to work with you? How is it like? How is the engagement? Is there a certain program of a certain length? How is the engagement there?
So yes, it's the six-figure job of program that targets from 200 to 500K compensation people are looking for. That's a group coaching program. It's a 12-week program, and it's a group coaching. There is a self-directed learning piece there, and there are recorded videos, so they have to do those learnings. And then there's 2 live coachings that happen twice a week for 12 weeks. So one of it is purely coaching with master coach, which is Gurpreet Kaur, and the Thursday call, which is a tutor time or hands-on, which is with me. So a lot of energy, a lot of action, very hands-on. You get mindset coached, you get coached on the program, the work that you have to do within the program. So all sides are covered. The most important thing, Reg, I'd like to share with you is that people who come into the program, they think that they have a goal, and more or less that goal is always a reflection of their imposter syndrome, a reflection of their limiting beliefs. And what happens within the program is the first 2 weeks, and every single time with every single client, this happens that we have an exercise that we do within the program that's called the PCSRB. And what happens is that whenever somebody goes through that exercise, they have this unlocking moment where they realize that, wow, this is what we've done so far in our careers, and this is the impact that we've brought. And so why do we always think that the salary is like, 200K is way beyond my reach? And they have this renewed confidence that that's the salary actually that justifies the value they bring and they add. So that's the overall value we give within the program. And that's how it is to be part of that program.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Sana. And so, right now, when it comes to people finding you and working with you marketing wise, what marketing channel is working really well for you right now?
So, given that our target audience are professionals, the most lucrative marketing channel that has been working for us till date is LinkedIn. So, I would say that all of our reach is organically created. We do our prints of launches and challenges based off of which then we get our clients to sign up for the program. So both me and Gurpreet, who's a partner and who's the founder of GKM Coaching, we believe in personal authenticity and connecting with people who are the perfect fit for the program. So yes, a lot of that is driven by content that we post. And then, like I said, we run challenges and launches of our programs. So nobody comes in the program, and I would like to share this. Nobody comes in our program who has absolutely no idea what the program is about. So I will just give you one example that we had a launch for our six-figure programs cohort a few months ago. And that was a 10-day long challenge. And everything that is going to happen within the 12-week program, they actually went through it at a very brief, minuscule level. So they had the flavor, what it is like to work with Gurpreet, what it is like to work with Sana, what is PCSRB, what are the different modules. So they had a very good idea. They actually had a flavor of each of that. Another thing that we have is, which is amazing, that we do have a trial thing. So you sign up for a trial, you're there for 1 week, you get access to the modules, to the platform, you get access to 2 coaching calls, one with Gurpreet, one with me, and then you decide whether the program is fit for you or not. So we are very transparent and very confident in the value we deliver. And I think these are the strategies that we've used, and they're still working for us.
Great. And I like that it's still working very well. And we've seen actually that on LinkedIn from all the coaches that I've interviewed, it's the majority is utilizing LinkedIn and their referral network as well. So from past clients that do refer new clients too. So that has worked well as well. Now, when thinking about your coaching business for the next 1 to 3 years, do you have any specific goals that you're working towards, specific business goals?
Of course, the goal is to become a global organization. Right now, bulk of our clients are from within the North America, but we do intend to scale it. So there are two types of scaling that we are working on. One is geographic scaling, where we are moving into other geographical areas. The other scaling is also that we're including diversified coaching programs within GKM. So GKM Coaching itself is an entity that's going to support different types of coaching programs, like a job search coach, a six-figure job offer coaching program, or there is an AI-related technical coaching program that's in the works as well. So the goal for the next 3 years is definitely to create specialty programs targeting different needs of the clients that we have.
Where are you seeing the challenges with that, with going global and with scaling geographically or via your offers?
So scaling with diversification, that's going to be our first step. So like I said, that there is a huge need for technical coaching these days, which is more aligned with the end of AI. A lot of professionals, they don't want to be replaced by robots. That's a completely different discussion in itself. But yes, so we as GKM Coaching, as a flagship under the umbrella of GKM Coaching, we want to give this platform to multiple coaches with their individual specialties. Like I am a career coach. There is an AI coach as well who's working in the program, like I mentioned. So the challenge pretty much is that there is need, but how to actually fulfill that need in the best way possible that actually satisfies the requirement from the client. And secondly, the second challenge is that saturation of the marketing platforms that are happening. You'd see that you are interviewing so many coaches, you'll see that every third or fourth person right now says that they're a coach and they are also using LinkedIn. So I feel that the challenge with people making the right choice based on what their needs is more. So more need for clear content, more clarity on what you bring different from others. So I think this is the challenge that we have because we are in a very, very market and, standing out from the competition. That is a challenge that I think is a healthy challenge to have.
Absolutely, yeah. Standing out in a crowded market certainly has been an issue that has been seen recently, especially for the last 3 to 4 years. There's been more coaches, but I feel like still there is a lot of need for coaches since a coach cannot serve everybody. They would have to refer to each other. I'm probably sure you also know some coaches yourself where you might send some clients that you feel like could be a better fit for someone else, or you get other coaches to send you clients too. So in looking at your coaching business so far, what are some investments that you've done in your coaching business that you feel like are good investments that either learned a lot or got a good return from? And what are some business investments that you don't feel so good about, you prefer to have avoided?
So my own personal experience with the investments that I have personally made and the regret that I have made earlier are the investments in my personal learning. I've met a lot of coaches who believe that you don't need a certification to become a coach. And I always take that with a pinch of salt because you're basically in a field where somebody is entrusting their future and their transformational breakthrough on you. So you need to be trained in a certain way of coaching, the coaching principles. Coaching is no longer um, a profession where somebody who has good speaking capabilities, has amazing charisma, can come and coach. No, you need certain training in how to coach, and the gold standard is the ICF. So I think that's an investment that I believe I should have done earlier on, but better late than sorry. So I am doing it now. And like my mind is blown every single time when I'm in one of the sessions where I'm learning these amazing coaching
Mm-hmm.
techniques. That's the one. The second one is the platform that you have and the way you set up your entire offering, the program, and how it's so user friendly for your clients. I think that's your second level of investment that you need to do, must do, and that is pretty much. And me and Gurpreet, we are constantly looking at the better ways, like is Zoom better or Google Meets better? What is more useful? What is more in basis? What is the most user friendly? What gives the client the best experience? So all of these are investments that are worth making for your coaching business. And the ones that didn't turn out too well would be when you come across coaches of coaches, like coaches of business coaches, where they think they have an idea about the strategy and how you should do your, to get more leads or more clients. That
Mhm.
aspect, I am not too sure if that was something that worked well with us, and I think that is something that we still have to have a breakthrough with. So far, we've been able to only successfully get a breakthrough in the business when we are following the strategy that Gurpreet thinks is right. So
Mhm.
she's been doing this for so many years now, and her strategy works perfectly as opposed to what is recommended to her. So I think that is something that didn't work out too well, but we've not lost our hopes in that area. We know there's amazing business coaches out there who are helping so many people. It's just about finding the right fit.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sana. And from our perspective, what we've seen based on our research that we did last year in terms of ROI, we noticed that when it comes to certifications, they are considerably expensive. But if you're thinking that the certification is going to be helpful for you to get more clients or like marketing wise, that turned out not to be the case. But it's a good training tool though to train on, like if you need a training on how to be a coach, that is great there. But marketing wise, we haven't seen the ROI on it yet. So it does make sense to me also what you mentioned, that there are certain companies that will make this offer look too good sometimes and they don't deliver, or they could be marketing agencies as well, that we've noticed that being an issue. So that makes a lot of sense. And now when thinking about your coaching businesses, other coaches actually who are trying to scale their impact, and this is the final question too, is what advice would you give to other coaches who are trying to scale their impact? And in a way would be like an advice you give to yourself.
So, an advice that I would like to give my previous self who was extremely confused about the target audience, what's my ideal client profile, and I was really what say I was running after perfecting it. And only when I said, and this is a rule I follow, it's 80/20. If something is absolutely clear for me by 80%, I just have to follow through with it. And rest of the 20% clarity will either come or I learn that this is not what I want to do. So the best advice that I could give to career coaches who are early in their or they're planning to start their coaching business is to not take too much time in perfecting the ideal client. What you launch, go ahead, learn, iterate, and then relaunch yourself. Every time when you are putting yourself out there, you are learning something amazing perspective about yourself, and that just keeps on adding to the coaching quality that you have and the impact you can deliver. I think
Mm-hmm.
that is the only advice. I think remaining everybody who decides to become a coach has a lot of confidence and has been endorsed by the people who are in their lives, either personal or professional. They have been endorsed for their capabilities of being coached. That's why they decide to come into the field. It's only when you try to figure out the recipe that who's the one that I'm going to help. And just like me, everybody else, I also felt like, oh, you know what? I want to be the Netflix of coaching. I want to help everyone. And then somebody told me, don't be the Netflix, please just be the HBO. Just follow a small community. So, yes, think about your niche. It is important. I'm not underestimating the importance of a niche. I'm just emphasizing do not lose time perfecting your niche so much so that by the time you are there in the market, your niche has actually changed because there's so many coaches out there addressing the same niche, you lose your competitive advantage. So timing is of paramount importance in this extremely competitive market today as well. So that is the advice that I would like to give, that think about the 80%, take the leap of faith and just put yourself out there. You'll see the
Thank you.
results.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sana. Thank you for that amazing advice. And I totally agree with my background in marketing as well. It makes a lot of sense. It's easier to market too. But just don't put too much effort initially into your ideal client profile, thinking that you'll figure it out from the start, because oftentimes what you might have come up with as an ideal client profile without your trial and error might not be the ideal client profile that ends up being 1 year later. So it's something that you actually find as you go and you refine later on too.
And I just like to share a very interesting story here. I never understood what is a life coach. Like I always understood the need for a career coach or an executive coach or a women coach. I mean, you can see the purpose they serve. But when I came across this term called life coach, I was like very, very skeptical. Up until recently, when I met this amazing ICF certified NLP technique master coach, Coach Michael. And he shared a very unique perspective with me. And he said, so think of it this way, Sana. A life coach is actually a person who has the capability of tapping into all aspects of your life. So let's say you're a career coach and the person you are helping is massively stuck somewhere. And in your coaching, you find out that he's actually stuck because he has a certain disadvantage with his partner that he is not able to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And that just opened up my perspective that at the end of the day, when you're meeting somebody, it's never a silo. That one person is a combination of his career, his personal life, his spirituality, his relationships, where he is at that point in time, his past experiences, the trauma, everything. So that's where that's my aha moment with my coach, that yes. So sometimes we underestimate the work that a certain coach does, but at the end of the day, a coach is actually tapping into all aspects of you as a person and then making you go through those, unravel those areas and really showing you the path that is somewhere under the layers that you have of experience and brings out that light and that shine that you need to live and go through with. So that's that I also personally just recently discovered. And when you said that right now, it just made sense for me to share this with you and the audience as well, that we are all just working. We think that we are figuring out our niche, but at the end of the day, it is way more than a niche. Once you're in a coaching session, you don't know what you're going to help the other person with. Might be
Yeah.
transformation.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Sana, for coming to our podcast today. For anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can go into LinkedIn and look up Sana Javed. They'll be able to find your profile.
There is a GKM website, but what I can do is that I can share my professional email with you and then they can write to me on that and we can take it up from there.
So you'll find her on LinkedIn. Also, Sana, you mentioned that there is an email they can email you directly.
Yes.
What would be the email?
That would be sana.javed@gkmcoaching.com.
Cool. We'll put that in the description as well for people to find it. So Sana will send it to me. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, thank you so much, Sana. It was lovely to have you on the show.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rexhen.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.